Oh, okay. So the way that Job responded in the sense of like, I should have never been born.
Oh, I feel so sad for him.
I did
I have felt that.
too.
I have
And
felt
I
that
was
before.
like, that's not cursing God? Like, then what's cursing God?
He
Because
cursed
he
his
never
life.
he cursed his life. You're right. Um, but in my head, I'm like, well, God gave you life, but that's not
Yeah.
cursing God. I guess
I
you're
think
right.
cursing God has to be super outright, like, like, I hate you, like, he would have had to, like,
Mm,
say stuff like that God was not the creator, or that God did not even provide those things. He would have had to say, like, he would have had to say something like that. But I think
gotcha.
with him, it's like, I with this story, I love Job. This is really one of my favorite books in the Bible because I relate to Job. I can relate to the friends.
It's
With
starting to become
Job,
mine for
I
sure.
can relate to, okay, we and you have talked about before where we feel like we don't know what's going on with our life. Or me personally, I feel like that I've messed up my life so much. Why am I even here? Why was I even born? I should just take me out, Lord. Like, I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
why would you even make me? Why didn't you just cut me off? Like,
He
I have said
literally
some of these things in my
Yeah,
life.
like he said this one, I just read it and I was like, why have I said this before? He
Hmm.
said, why is life given to those with no future, those God has surrounded with difficulties? Like, why'd you even have me here if I gotta go through
Yes.
all of this? Like, what's the point?
Why
What is
I gotta
life?
go through all this? Like, you brought me here just to make me go through this. Why? And I feel like his questions, like, people will also say in many churches that you cannot question God. I don't believe in that theory. I don't,
But they also think you can't
because,
question your parents either. So I think it's a cultural
like,
thing.
I feel like it's a respectful way to do it. Like, I feel like when I pray, it's not like you got to come to him incorrect, but you could be like, God, I just don't understand. Like, I don't. And I feel like he welcomes that, because when I pray like that, when I'm real like that, when I'm like, Lord, I don't understand. I really am just feeling like super angry about it. I'm feeling super anxious. I just feel like I'm not, like, I'm being honest. I get the answers like that day, either in the word or in a song that randomly come on, or just whatever.
Mhm.
So,
There's a
you know,
level of desperation that God moves on. I'm not going to
mhm.
say that your desperation is what prompts God. We don't have the power to move God.
Yeah, and he's not a
Um,
transactional God, which is
right,
what Satan was trying to
exactly.
imply.
Yeah. But our desperation is like the perfect breeding ground for God to work without any of our hesitation,
Mhm.
because it's like we've come to the end of ourselves and we are desperate. If you don't do something, then it won't. If God don't do it, it won't get done. Like legit, but in tears and snot and Viola Davis Emmy award winning snot all
Yeah,
over, the floor, because we need God to do something and we cannot do it in ourselves. And that's honestly like the most beautiful place to be most of the time, all of the time, because
mhm,
it's it's without your pride, it's without any bit of your control. Like Job is showing the perfect, in my opinion at least, the perfect example of godly desperation, because
yeah,
out of all the, so like, and like we'll get to the specifics of the friends, but like one of the friends said, like, how, like, what do you mean you're gonna ask God? Like, what, like, do you think he's gonna answer you? Like, he doesn't owe you anything.
mhm,
And in a sense, that's correct. God does not owe us
yeah,
anything.
anything.
But Job responds and is like, well, who else is gonna give me this answer?
Yeah, and he's like,
Like,
"I want it before I die, not I want it
yeah,
now,
it's
not
like I
when
have
I
I have a
die."
question that like only God I know only God can answer because clearly y'all aren't answering this for me. So I
Yeah.
need to ask him this question because he's the only one who can answer it. Why is that so bad? Like, I understand who God is and the power that he has in this life. So why is it a bad thing for me to ask him? I'm not saying that he needs
Yeah.
to like that he that I'm entitled to his explanation. If he doesn't give me an answer, or if he says that I don't need to have an answer, I'm okay with that. Like Job was like, I just need to
Yeah.
ask.
Yeah, he didn't want to debate God. He just wanted to know, hey, what did I do? If I did that, I don't know what I did. So if you just tell me what I did, I can be like, oh, okay, let me
Right.
fix it or whatever. But he's like, I can't even pinpoint what
Mm-hmm.
I did. And then I read also that
Mm-hmm.
he felt like what he really wanted, he didn't want his stuff back. He felt like he was disconnected from God at this point. He felt like he had
Mm-hmm.
lost his relationship with God, that God was just like done with him, like basically like God broke up with him, and he's just like God ghosted him. He's just like, what's up?
Basically.
Like, where'd you go? I don't feel you. Like, I'm just feeling all this pain and torture, which in his mind I feel like is not how God operates. With
Right. Like
like,
he had a
and it's
legit
funny
cognitive
because
dissonance.
he knew how God operates. And he's like, this ain't how God operate, but it gotta be from God because who else can operate like this? That's why I would go back to how the devil was operating in a way that he knew people would think that the punishment was from God, so that God would be blamed, or that God, it would be like, well, this only can come from God because, they didn't, it sounds like they didn't have a concept of the accuser or of Satan or of an evil one or whatever.
Mhm. It was almost like
Yeah.
they viewed themselves as the evil one. Like
Mm-hmm.
they were in opposition to God, not Satan is in opposition to God. Um, which is kind of interesting. Um, because it was never that, oh, you're doing something wrong and then Satan has a foothold in your life and is doing X amount of things. It was like you're doing something
Mm-hmm.
wrong, so God is punishing you.
Yeah.
Um, hmm, wow. They didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't even acknowledge Satan. He was just doing
Yeah,
all
I
that
about
stuff.
to say I don't remember them ever mentioning Satan, because even now sometimes people, when bad things happen, people automatically, they go the other way. They
Mhm.
automatically accuse the devil. They give the devil a little bit too much credit. It's like,
Mhm.
he's not that great, and he
Right.
probably loves that you think that he is. He's really
Mhm.
excited about that. He can't do that much. Like, if he's any equivalent, he's equivalent to like the archangel
Michael.
Michael,
Yeah.
and I still think Michael would whoop his butt. Pretty
Oh,
sure.
for
Like,
sure.
I imagine Michael as like this guy that's like the Hulk, but that's what I imagined in my head.
Oh yeah.
Could be totally off, but I feel like he is like the man for
Yeah,
real.
me too.